Hi everyone, it's Sarah Homfray here from Sarah Homfray Embroidery and welcome to my channel. It's a little bit of a different one for you this week. It's been a bit of a strange week to say the least, with the announcement of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II last Thursday now, so a week ago. It's Thursday today, and I want to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I have been doing some stitching this week. Done a little bit of work this week, not a lot, and I just want to show you what I have been making. So I have been doing this. Quick shot there. If I put that there, I actually put a close-up of this over here so that you can see it. So this is a new project for my channel members, my YouTube channel members and my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting us with your membership. I'm making this video for you, so it's based on this one, which you all may have seen, this video about this pomegranate and how I chose the stitches for this one. So this is a development of that, and it's going to take this design, which you can all get for free from the website, by the way. That's there for you to download, and how you can change that into another technique using the same design. And then I've also talked about how I made this background, how I've painted this background, and how I've stitched this project, and how I've chosen materials that I have done. So Jonathan is editing that as we speak, and that will be up as soon as he's done it. No fixed date at the minute, but that will be up soon for channel members and patrons. So if you're interested to see that, do check out our membership. You can check out the YouTube membership by clicking the join button below. It tells you all about it before you commit to anything, and you can just try it for a month and see if you like it, and get this video and have a look and see if you like what we offer. So there's no long-term commitment if you don't want, and if you're interested in Patreon instead, because the channel membership doesn't work on all devices, you can check that out. I'll put a link below this video in the description below, and you can go there and check that out and see if that's something that you'd like to try. So I just thought today I'd like to reflect on what's been happening this week a little bit, because it really is unusual. I've never seen anything quite like it before, and I do have something very special to show you from my apprenticeship. It's down on the floor here, so do hang around to see what that is, because I don't think I've shown you that before. So the Queen passed away last Thursday on the 8th at the age of 96 up in Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where she goes for her summer holidays, if you like. She stays up there, and the fact that she was probably 96 wasn't so much of the surprise. She was looking a little bit frail. Hadn't been seen so much. Prince Charles, the now new king, had taken on a lot of her duties, so that bit wasn't really the surprise. But it was the fact that on Tuesday, 2 days before, she swore in the new Prime Minister, which she does with every Prime Minister. So the one that's leaving goes to see her. I don't know what conversation they have about that, but they leave, and then the new one comes in by another door, and she formally asks that person to form a government. And she did that on Tuesday, and the pictures of her, she was looking frail. She had a stick and she was looking frail, and her hands were sort of quite purple in colour, but she was looking pretty chirpy and fine. And then by Wednesday, there were rumours going around about concerns about her health. The palace had said they were a bit concerned about her health, and by Thursday she passed away. So I think that was the shocking bit, that she was working and looking fine on Tuesday, and she wasn't here on Thursday. So the Prime Minister that she swore in this time was her 15th Prime Minister during her reign. She has reigned for 70 years. And incidentally as well, I know we have a lot of people from America watching this, she met 13 of the last 14, just check that, that's right, 13 of the last 14 US presidents. She didn't meet Lyndon B. Johnson. I'm not sure why that was, but she met 13 of them, which is pretty amazing, and 5 popes as well. So she's had quite a distinguished career, and her first Prime Minister was Winston Churchill, which just seems really strange to me. Winston Churchill's from another age. We know what he did. There's famous pictures of him from the war and how he led Great Britain through the war, and it just seemed like another age ago, and that was her very first Prime Minister. So quite astonishing when you think of these facts. And this year was her 70th Jubilee year, so that's the Platinum Jubilee. Lots of wonderful celebrations, and she did come out on the balcony and wave, which I think made a lot of people's days. And I just want to show you this image, because this is from the Diamond Jubilee. So that is 2012, and this is my classroom in Rugby. So I was teaching for the Royal School of Needlework at the time, and I taught the certificate and diploma with my colleague Nicola Jarvis, who's there in the mad curly wig. And we had a teaching day that day at our venue in Rugby in the middle of England. And we had a little Jubilee celebration, and we decorated the room, and we had some cakes and some stuff to eat. And it was a really fun day. I do remember that quite clearly. And that was the Diamond Jubilee. So the level of mourning in the country is quite astonishing, actually. I knew it was going to be big. And when Prince Philip, her husband, died, that was quite big, but nothing on the scale of this that's going on at all. The country is literally ground to a halt. So she died at Balmoral in Scotland, as I said. So she was then taken to Edinburgh, where she lay in state for 24 hours in Edinburgh. And it was quite amazing to see those scenes, actually. She was transported to the cathedral in Edinburgh up the Royal Mile, and the streets were just packed with people. And she was only there for 24 hours. And then she was flown down to RAF Northolt and then taken by hearse to Buckingham Palace. And when she arrived, it was daylight, but it was getting dark, and she drove in the dark, basically. They drove her to Buckingham Palace in the dark, and her hearse was a brand new one that apparently she had had a hand in designing. They do that. They plan their funerals way in advance, which is quite strange. You know, what do you want your hearse to be like? And it had lights in it, and it lit up the coffin. And you could just see it really clearly, and it was getting dark, and it was dark by the time it arrived in London, and you could just see it going through the streets, and it was all lit up. It was quite magical, actually, to see that. And she was driven to Buckingham Palace, and then the next day she went from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall on a gun carriage, and it went down the mile to Westminster Hall, where she is now lying in state until Monday. And I just wanted to show you the scale of what's going on in the country at the moment, because she's lying in state till Monday and the public can go and see her. So this is a queue tracker. I'll put this up now. This is from the Telegraph paper, and I just thought this was quite astonishing. This is the queue tracker. So if you want to go and see the Queen, this is where you got to go, and this is how long you're going to be there. So there are talks of queuing for 30 hours to get into Westminster Hall, to walk past the coffin and pay your respects. And this was Wednesday evening, this one, and you can see where the queue is at 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening. It's all the way round Embankment, South Bank Centre, past the Tate Modern, and when I had a little look this morning, it was nearer Tower Bridge, so a little bit further. And it's quite interesting. We sort of a bit of a shock, or she's died, but somebody it wasn't a shock, because this has been in planning for ages. Because if you look at the end of this picture, there is a little end of queue area which goes back and forth, and that's a 3-mile length queue in that end bit. So there's 10 miles in total that they are allowing for people to queue. It's not at the 10-mile minute at the moment, but I know there's all along the way. There's toilets and there's refreshments, and they've even put screens up playing some images from the Queen's life to entertain people, and it's all very civilised. We do good queues. That's a line if you're in America, by the way. We're good at doing queues in this country, which would be an Olympic sport, because we like to stand in a queue, like to stand in a line, and it seems to be a nice atmosphere. Everybody's getting on okay and chatting, and they brought food with them, and they're prepared to wait to pay their respects. So quite astonishing scenes, really, of what's going on in London at the moment. They've put on extra trains to get people in and out. They've put night trains on. They've shut large parts down and made it pedestrian only. Absolutely massive operation, what's going on. And I did watch a little bit live online yesterday to see people walking past, and it was really very moving. It was very respectful. They've banned all the phones, which I'm relieved about, because it just seems to be a bit of a phone fest in some places. And people are just walking past and bowing and paying their respect, and they look visibly upset, and it has been quite moving to see that. Having a little look on the internet this morning and found a few interesting facts about the Queen as well. She really is a truly unique person. So she's the only person in the UK not to have a driving licence to drive on public roads, and that is because driving licences are issued in her name. So she'd be issuing herself a driving licence, which defeats the idea of the object. She has also, let me read my little list here. So she served in World War II as well as a truck driver and a mechanic. So that's quite incredible. Again, an era that's part of my parents' age, but not mine so much, and that she actually served in the war is quite incredible. She's sat for over 200 official portraits. That must have been a bit tedious. Visited over 100 countries as well. So quite a unique life and who she has met and what she has done. And I know not everybody is a monarchist, and some people have made their voices heard, and that's fine. You know, we are free to choose, and that's what's wonderful about where we are at the moment in the world. But you can't deny the effect that she has had on the country and is having at the moment, with a number of people that have come out to see her. And I know they spoke to somebody on the news yesterday who had flown from the west coast of America just to stand and see the coffin come past. So there's quite an effect across the world. And I was trying to think what that meant for me, because I'm not somebody who would rush to London to do that. And I watch some of it on the television, and I'm interested in some of it's very, very poignant. But I'm trying to think, what does she sort of mean to me, really? And I suppose she's been that person who's just always been there, this constant who's above the politics and above everything else that is happening. So I'll give you an example. So when we had the pandemic on and the government was making decisions about what was going to happen and what we could do and what we couldn't do, and they were on the television every day, and some people liked it, some people didn't like it. That was always going to be the case. But there was the Queen above this, and she actually addressed the nation, which she doesn't do very often, only in very exceptional circumstances and at Christmas. And she actually addressed the nation about this and said, we're in this together and I'm in it too. And of course, Prince Philip died during the pandemic as well. And there were those quite famous images of the Queen at the funeral at Windsor, on her own, sitting on her own with no support around her, and the cameras on her, and having to say goodbye to her husband. And because of the pandemic, because people were not allowed to be together. And I think that sort of struck a bit of a chord with people. Yes, you know, she has privilege, of course she does, but when it came to it, she was on her own too, and she was dealing with this thing the same as everybody else. So she sort of transcends everything else that's going on, and is somebody that you can look to and go, there's a bit of calm, there's a little bit of peace. There is somebody who is constant, I suppose, and above everything else. So I just wanted to show you this one last thing that I have got up here. You can see this clearly. I will put some close-ups of this on my social media pages as well, so you can have a proper look at this. But this is a certificate I got from my apprenticeship. So the Queen was the patron of the Royal School of Needlework. She's up here at the top, Her Majesty the Queen. When I was actually there, didn't meet her there, has to be said, but she was the patron of the Royal School of Needlework. And this is my certificate. And if you come down here, I'll read you this bit. In fact, Royal School of Needlework, Diploma Embroidery, Hampton Court Palace, is certified that Sarah Jane Homfray has successfully completed the 3-year apprenticeship with distinction, approved by the Royal School of Needlework under the seal. It's there. 31st date of August 2006, patron Elizabeth R. So she's actually signed my certificate, so that's quite precious. That does sit on the wall in the house, it has to be said. And Chairman Countess de Salis and Principal the lovely Elizabeth Elvin as well. So I do keep that with pride on my wall, because it's got her signature on it. Something quite special from my apprenticeship, as I've said, and something that I will treasure. So just something a little bit different this week. I did just want to reflect on that in a way, just record what's happening at the moment, because it is quite unique what's going on in the country, and I don't think we'll see the like of it again, to be honest. So I have done some stitching, so do check that out if you're channel members and patrons. That's coming soon. We'll be back to normal next week. I haven't quite decided what we're doing yet, so I'll have to think about that. Thank you for watching, everybody. Love to hear your thoughts about it. If you've been maybe stood in one of those long queues, do let me know below your thoughts, and I will see you next time.